So thank you so much for joining the Morning Miracle, and that is the Teacher's Manual. And today we enter into the characteristics of God's teachers. And we like to know about ourselves, you could say. We like to recognize ourselves as teachers of God. And why is that so? Because in fact, you are one. And whether you're completely aware of that or not, but the part is already said that you are teaching all the time. And teaching truth is where the fulfillment is. So your choice to be that, to teach truth, is up to you, of course. But actually, it's the only thing that you can teach. The rest isn't. The rest is not. Now, so this choice to be a teacher of God is like a choice you make, and you say, when is that time going to come? Well, that really depends on you. There's something occurring when you say, like, yes, this is what I am, because in fact you are being guided to be that. You don't have to develop that yourself, except for the fact that you have to learn to trust what is given and go for that and stay with that and letting that direct you and letting that teach you, letting that guide you. And that's an important part. So that is what you learn with doing A Course in Miracles. You learn to follow the guidance that is given. You learn to trust what is going on. You learn to trust your brother, for instance. You start to see the world in a different perspective because you recognize it's not out there. No, it starts right here. It starts with me. And so these are like huge healing shifts that are occurring in you, and they bring you to the place where you start to recognize, I'm a teacher of God. I'm a teacher of God. I'm actually teaching truth. If I step out of the way, I'm teaching truth. If I don't trust my own ideas, now ideas can be given to me. My mind, my consciousness is open to receive that. My mind is open to receive that. I recognize that the guidance that is given me is my fulfillment, that I see that at work. Literally, I start to trust the light that is given me, the light that is shining through me, opening doors for me and for others. Like, it literally changes everything where you come, everything that you're touching, everything that you're going. And this is the beautiful part of it. So anyway, it's like this is the start, of course, for our characteristics that we're looking at today. And these you might not directly recognize, or it might seem to be unachievable, and that really does not matter. It is growing along spiritual lines here too. Like, you grow. It is not about spiritual perfection. No, it is about, in fact, the dissolving of anything that disturbs and the perfection that is already coming from within, expressing itself through you. That is the part that is taking place, and that is not really a doing of you. It is more like you have to allow that to step forward in you. Well, that's a summary of a teacher of God. So you are one, and you will recognize that one day, or now, today, in this, what we're describing as the characteristics of God. Now, we have an hour for this, and it's really great for every characteristic, I think there are like 10 or so, every characteristic that is mentioned, we placed already some time in looking at the idea of trust and the development of trust. And that's a really beautiful part too. So you can definitely recognize the stage where you find yourself in, say, developing the trust in what is given, that truth is speaking to you, through you, and that you can trust what is going on in your spiritual process, even though it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the perfection that you know to be true right away. So it's more like that will come to. Now you find yourself exactly in the place where you find yourself, and that is what you have to recognize for yourself. That is helpful. Not that you can really evaluate yourself, but you see what you are doing, and in the phases or in the stages of the development of trust, you will recognize yourself in, oh yes, this is really where I find myself, or this, like it's really very recognizable what has been written. We're talking here about a transformational path, a transformational journey that you're moving through. And so what is being asked of you is the impossible. In fact, you allow the impossible to occur in you, because it cannot be by your own doing. So it's going to be done to you, in a sense. It's like it is opening the way for you. But at the same time, you learn that your habits, your way of thinking, your patterns that you have, your doings, your habits, and all this, in fact, are asked to be changed. But you don't know where to change it into. So the whole process is a process of undoing. And an undoing up to the point where you recognize, in fact, your perfection, where you see that is working perfectly, that was the most natural thing that could have occurred to you. So first it starts with a vision of looking at the impossible to occur to you, seeing that you in your process you make sure that you discover that you cannot do it. One way or the other you prove to yourself, no, I can't do it. And not necessarily that you don't have ideas about it or that you don't try. No, you do try. But you see that that's not effective at all. So that's the part where you first come to. When that has occurred, when you have said, like, there must be another way because I'm not able to do it, is in fact where the trust in an alternative can start. So that's where the teacher of God starts. He admits, I cannot do it, but I don't have to. But I come to the point where I recognize I cannot do it by myself. Otherwise I would have done it. And I'm not able to do that. That is one expression of honesty. That is your admission that you're ready to call yourself a teacher of God. Because the teacher of God is not necessarily one who knows what to say or where to go. No, he's willing to follow guidance. That makes all the difference. And I always mention this, like in every episode I've mentioned it in some kind of way, because that takes away any kind of mysteriousness around being a teacher of God, or it's like no. It starts with that you don't know anything. It's like your ego needs to be sufficiently out of the way in order to start this. It's not like a confirmation of a perfect ego or something. No. Characteristics of the teacher of God. Trust. You see on top. Trust. This is the foundation on which their ability to fulfill their function rests. Perception is the result of learning. In fact, perception is learning, because cause and effect are never apart, never separated. The teachers of God have trust in the world because they have learned it is not governed by the laws the world made up. So I start with this for a specific reason. It's like, this is the foundation on which their ability to fulfill function rests. It's like trust. Perception is the result of learning. In fact, perception is learning. So the way that you perceive determines how you look at everything. Because cause and effect are never separated. If you perceive that something outside of you is attacking, you believe that that is what you are, that that can happen to you, and that the world is set up like that. That is what you teach then in that moment. But the teachers of God have trust in the world, because they have learned it is not governed by laws the world made up. Now this seems to be like, well, that's just an expression. That's just one expression, but it's a great expression, because in fact it shows you, here is already like a huge turn, because there's nothing out there that can attack you. No, there's a responsibility that comes to you, that you recognize as yours. Like, I'm responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings that I'm experiencing. I decide upon the goals that I would achieve. And everything that's happening to me, I ask for. And I receive as I have asked. Like, that's inevitable. But that's the responsibility prayer that I'm reciting here. From chapter 21, I think it is. So it's like, or 20. So this is essential. You recognize like that it is not doing anything to me. No, I have given it the power to do so, if I do that. If I recognize that the world can not tell me anything about myself, then I know that I'm in alignment with the truth within me, and let that teach me what I am. So the healing power of this expression is enormous, because in fact here's already the shift in perception that takes place. There's nothing outside of me that can do anything to me unless I forget that I've given it the power. So really essential. Now, how can you trust a world that you have given your power, that can do anything to you? How can you trust that? Because you don't know what it's going to do with you if you gave your power away. It's like, who knows what's going to happen? But if you are aware that it's within you, what is not to trust about the world, if you know that you're the cause of it? So, like we say, like the effect, cause and effect relationship has shifted 180 degrees. Suddenly the world is not the source of your attack or conflict. No, I'm the cause of it. That's why it's coming to me. I asked for it and receive as I have asked. Like that I need to know. So then trust can be built, because now I'm really careful. What am I going to put in the world as a teacher of God? I follow the guidance. I follow the guidance. I follow that is speaking through me by listening. I'm not determining how it's supposed to look, or how the world's supposed to look, or how I'm supposed to respond to the world. No, I let myself be inspired to do so. Now, this is what I listen to. This is what I learn to listen to. Now, I don't have to fear anything about this world, because I'm shining my light into it, and that is what is reflected back to me. So it's like the start of being the light of the world, recognizing that you are that. That's really what the teacher of God is. So that's trust. That was number one, you could say. This is where all the characteristics are built on, because if it didn't occur, then nothing happened yet. You know, it's like you can be honest, but if you don't have trust in where your source is, literally where it all starts, then you will defend yourself in some kind of way. Honesty. The peace of mind which the advanced teacher of God experience is largely due to their perfect honesty. It is only the wish to deceive that makes for war. No one, at one with himself, can even conceive of conflict. If you recognize I'll read it one more time and then I'll come back. So the peace of mind which the advanced teacher of God experience is largely due to their perfect honesty. It is only the wish to deceive that makes for war. No one at one with himself can even conceive of conflict. So the perfect honesty is related to three aspects. And the three aspects is like what I say, what I do, and what I think. They're all the same. Like there's no conflict in that. Like it's congruent. There's no conflict in that. What I say, what I think, what I do is not conflicting. Now if that is what's happening for you, then you have no reason not to be honest. Now here's one other way to say that. One other way is this, is like when you recognize your mind to be whole and all-inclusive, what could possibly be that is attacking you? Why would that be a surprise? Why would that be a conflict in the first place? Conflicting with what? So that's an amazing discovery that you make when once you start to come into say consistency in saying, thinking, doing. Like if there's no conflict in it, you see it's like the most simple thing to do. But to come to it, you have to give up all your human, what shall we call that? All your human corruption. Like all your human incongruency. So this is really an essential part. But then you can be honest about everything. Like, what do I have to hide? To whom? If I recognize myself to be connected with every aspect of creation. See, that the theory, the concept about it is easy. The practice of it depends on where you find yourself in your development. Like if you have sufficiently allowed a shift to occur, of cause and effect, then nothing outside of you can attack you, right? So then you recognize, in fact, the all-inclusiveness of your mind, and seeing that there's no difference, there's nothing outside of you, really. There's just one consciousness communicating perfectly. Now what can be the conflict? It dissolves right there. God's teachers do not judge. To judge is to be dishonest. For to judge is to assume a position you do not have. Judgment without self-deception is impossible. Judgment implies that you have been deceived in your brothers. How then could you not have been deceived in yourself? And it makes perfect sense in terms of if you think there's something out there that can be judged, then you separate yourself off from your brother, thinking that you are different than your brother. God's teachers do not judge. They recognize they can't. To judge is to be dishonest, for to judge is to assume a position you do not have. You cannot oversee the whole. Judgment without self-deception is impossible. Judgment implies that you have been deceived in your brothers. How then could you not be deceived in yourself? Tolerance. So tolerance is the part where you say, like, I'm accepting this presence of it. Now here, in fact, the tolerant part is that you start to include. You start to say that this is not separate from me. I include it in. There's no way I can judge my brother. So what I'm doing is in fact allowing this to be there, and recognizing my connectedness. Like, there's a reason why my brother is telling, why he's saying or acting in the way that he does. There's a reason for that. Like, this is what he, yeah, in fact, it is like, I have to look at it from beyond the form, from beyond the say, the intention that I think he has. In other words, I have to let go of my ideas of what my brother is doing, so I can still connect with the truth of myself. I can still connect and see that my brother is a whole part of me, that there's no separation. So to the tolerance would be also to recognize, like, I see myself in my brother. Maybe that the way that I see my brother is in another time. Like, yeah, I've said the same things. I see where he's coming from. I understand why he's saying what he is saying. Or, you know, like this. So that, in fact, you can tolerate that. You can tolerate everything that your brother is coming from. So it's like you can tolerate all of that because you recognize wholeness in yourself and see that everything that isn't love, for instance, your brother can do all kinds of things, but it's like what isn't love is a cry for love. Only that distinction, like, that's not a judgment, it's just the way that it comes to you. It's a cry for love. How do you respond to that? By your tolerance, by allowing that to be there, and keep loving your brother as yourself. So gentleness, they need the strength of gentleness. For it is in this that the function of salvation becomes easy. To those who would do harm, it is impossible. To those to whom harm has no meaning, it is merely natural. What choice but this has meaning to the sane? Who chooses hell when he perceives a way to heaven? Now you might lose it immediately when you hear this. So this is, I'm repeating it one more time. They need the strength of gentleness. The teachers of God need the strength of gentleness. For it is in this that the function of salvation becomes easy. To those who would do harm, it is impossible. To those whom harm has no meaning, it is merely natural. What choice but this has meaning to the sane? Who chooses hell when he perceives a way to heaven? See how beautiful that comes together? It's like there's honesty, trust, gentleness, you know, all the tolerance, like all these characteristics are really lovely. They all, in fact, embody openness, like not to go against something, not to reject or not to defend or not to attack. No, it's like, yeah. I'm going to bring you home no matter what. It is like, it is completely open to bring your brother home. In fact, that is a good description. It's like, this is what you feel when you hear these words too. It's like there's tolerance, there's an openness, and we go on, of course, there's more. It's like, yeah, let everyone come, let all the children come to me, like this. Like, my brother needs rest, well, let him come to me. And this is the teacher of God. Joy is the inevitable result of gentleness. Gentleness means that fear is now impossible. And what could come to interfere with joy? The open hands of gentleness are always filled. The gentle have no pain. They cannot suffer. Why would they not be joyous? Why would they not? Why would the teacher of God not be joyous? Joy is the inevitable result of gentleness. Gentleness means that fear is now impossible. And what could come to interfere with joy? The open hands of gentleness are always filled. The gentle have no pain. They cannot suffer. Why would they not be joyous? Why would the joyous not be joyous? Yeah. See, all this makes perfect sense. In the same light, it is the same light. You have recognized that the source of truth, is within you. Like you are an extension of the light of truth. As a teacher of God, you're an extension of that. You recognize that there's nothing out there that can attack you unless you ask for it. And you don't ask for it because you have learned to receive the guidance that is given, to let Spirit speak through you and extend into infinity. You could say, bring this light into the world, into this dream. Now, say joy is part of that. And joy starts with gentleness. It's like, yeah, there's an openness connected to it. There's an tolerance, there's a trust, like total trust in your brother, because you know what you're dealing with. Your brother is your savior. Your brother is the means. It's literally you can't go to heaven without your brother. It is not a solitary trip somewhere out of into the blue in order to come to heaven or something. It's like, no, it's an individual recognition for one thing. But in that individual recognition, you recognize your brother to be like one with you. So that's why this is always coming up. So there's no way of transcending out of this without loving your brother. And that's the beauty of it. Like, there has to be a moment of unity, of connection, of recognizing that there's only one of us in order to come home. Now, in that recognition is all these characteristics are literally exposed, are used. Joy, tolerance, openness. Because it's like you invite your brother in to come with you. It's like, I'm here to pick you up. Are you going to come with me? That's really the question of a teacher of God. Defenselessness. Defenselessness. God's teachers have learned how to be simple. They have no dreams that need defense against the truth. They do not try to make themselves. Their joy comes from their understanding who created them, who is their source. And does what God created need defense? No, of course not. No one can become an advanced teacher of God until he fully understands that defenses are but foolish guardians of mad illusions. That's so wonderful. So God's teachers have learned how to be simple. They have no dreams that need defense against the truth. They do not try to make themselves. Their joy comes from their understanding who created them. And does what God created need defense? No one can become an advanced teacher of God until he fully understands that defenses are but foolish guardians of mad illusions. I love it. It's so beautiful. It's like the defense becomes like a ridiculous parody or a totally out of place kind of response. Here it says, like, foolish guardians of mad illusions. What are you defending? Why would you do that? So I love this. Generosity. To the world, generosity means giving away in the sense of giving up. To the teacher of God, it means giving away in order to keep. This has been emphasized throughout the text and the workbook, but it is perhaps more alien to the thinking of the world than many other ideas in our curriculum. Its greatest strangeness lies merely in the obviousness of its reversal of the world's thinking. Recognizing that you're giving to yourself makes everything different, of course. Like, when it's given to me, I've received it for myself. Now I'm giving that away. Basically, as an idea, is what I'm doing right here. It's like, why wouldn't I want to give everything away? I will, as a teacher of God, I will have to do that in order to keep it. Like, how do you stay in this? And this is a question that comes many times to me. Like, how do you stay in this? How can I stay in the remembrance of presence? How do I do that? Well, keep giving it away. Don't try to hold on to it with, I have to have an experience or something. Like, no, keep giving it away. Give away what you have learned. Teach what you have learned. Remember what you've learned. Take time to receive that for yourself in what you are studying, and dedicate yourself to that. Give yourself away. Allow this light to speak through you. Allow yourself to go sufficiently out of the way to let the light do the work. Practice it in all your affairs, and you see it at work. Like, that would be the only way to do it. You will have to apply it in order to see it at work. What do you do when you apply it? You're actually demonstrating it. You're teaching it. You are enhancing it in your own experience as well as in your brother's. And that's why I many times say, like, and however, whatever comes up in you, for instance, as emotions or as things that are happening within you, that might be uncomfortable, that might be this or that, like, allow it to come to the surface, allow it to be there, and allow yourself to express it, because the expression of it has every right to be there. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't need to be managed by you. So even that is going to be used in your demonstration. And what I mean with that is, like, it is perfectly all right to let your tears flow in and wherever you are, for instance, or to start laughing wherever you are, just because that is popping up in your consciousness. Like, to give yourself the space to do so is literally being a teacher of God, allowing that to be there, no matter what, no matter where you are. Like, it has nothing to do with the laws of the world. No, you come from a whole different place in that sense. In teaching truth, you literally start to demonstrate spirit moving through you, or the light literally shining through you in whatever way that's going to be expressed. You don't have to do it for your own reasons, but you can allow it to be there and allow this expression to take place. That would be the same as letting yourself be completely devastated, no matter where you are. Just to allow that to occur, because by you doing that, By you doing that, you demonstrate, you give your brother the freedom to do also, that he doesn't need to protect anything or defend anything. No, it is allowed to come to the service. It is like literally, we're here to remember that this is not the place where we truly are. We're going home, and I don't care how this looks, but I'm leaving. It's like that. So yeah, I've many beautiful experiences or examples of that by just allowing things to come to the surface and express them, not pushing them back, and seeing how well that fits in the situation. And even if it didn't, it would be completely okay. So this is the space that you have to allow yourself. In that you give. And you give your brother the freedom to be himself, and no matter what comes up, there's space for that, like that. To those who are certain of the outcome, can afford to wait, right? And wait without anxiety. Those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait. Yeah, if you know there's such thing as eternity, what does it matter when it's happening now or in 10,000 years? Patience is natural to the teacher of God. All he sees is certain outcome, at a time perhaps unknown as yet, but not in doubt. The time will be as right as is the answer. And this is true for everything that happens now or in the future. Those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait, and wait without anxiety. Patience is natural to the teacher of God. All he sees is certain outcome, at a time perhaps unknown as yet, but not in doubt. The time will be as right as is the answer, and this is true for everything that happens now or in the future. Faithfulness. The extent of the teacher of God's faithfulness is the measure of his advancement in the curriculum. Does he still select some aspects of his life to bring to his learning, while keeping others apart? If so, his advancement is limited, and his trust not yet firmly established. Faithfulness is the teacher of God's trust in the Word of God to set all things right. All things right. Not some, but all. So the extent of the teacher of God's faithfulness is in the measure of his advancement in the curriculum. Does he still select some aspects of his life to bring to his learning, while keeping others apart? See, you're the only one who can answer that question. If so, his advancement is limited and his trust not yet firmly established. Faithfulness is the teacher of God's trust in the Word of God to set all things right. Not some, but all. Open-mindedness. The centrality of open-mindedness, perhaps the last of the attributes the teacher of God acquires, is easily understood when its relation to forgiveness is recognized. Open-mindedness comes with lack of judgment. As judgment shuts the mind against God's teacher, so open-mindedness invites him to come in. The centrality of open-mindedness, perhaps the last of the attributes the teacher of God acquires, is easily understood when its relation to forgiveness is recognized. Open-mindedness comes with lack of judgment. As judgment shuts the mind against God's teacher, so open-mindedness invites him to come in. So this is the part, see, open-mindedness is of course like also very important. And now the thing is that to stay in that, you can say like to stay in your open-mindedness is to not say entertain any kind of judgment. But see, this is not about perfect spiritual behavior or anything. Now the thing is with this too is like this can shift any time, this can change any time. If you recognize yourself to be judgmental, you can do two things, of course. It's like one is holding on to the idea that you're judging and that's wrong or something, that you have an idea about that. Or you're focused on releasing that idea and seeing that in the next moment you can be open to receive it. And this is really important in the development of trust. Like continuously you deal with a new moment. Like whatever you did for a moment ago, you recognize, oh my God, I'm actually judging here. Now I can release that idea again and come back to my sanity. And I can be open to receive my brother, or to be completely present in the connection that we have. Like, so this is not, it's not like once you do it wrong that you're not a teacher of God anymore. No, this is continuously being open to allow this moment to be new, to literally let it be directed to you, let it be guided for you. And coming back to that is really the training. And letting go of your ideas that you failed, or that you that you're guilty of something, or who knows what you think. Like all that is just a delay or a holding on to a self-concept. That's all. Now release that. And it doesn't follow you. You can be open again. You can recognize your total honesty. Even by expressing it yourself as saying, for instance, like, oh my God, I was judging. I was just looking at this and I'm judging the whole situation. I'm so happy that I can release this now. I don't have to defend it. I don't have to make that real for myself. No, I can continuously let go of any kind of judgment that I have. Now this is really the activity that you learn in the for instance the workbook of A Course in Miracles. You learn to continuously let go of what you just did, and not following that as a guide to unreality, to literally to insanity, and defending it and making that real for yourself and suffering the consequences, as in terms of pain or however that comes to you. So you have to allow yourself to be new all the time. This is the training. Like it's brand new. This is your openness. This is your open-mindedness. There's a brand new moment all the time. Here it is again. Here's another moment. Here we come. Here it is. So that is really lovely. Okay, so this were the characteristics of God teachers in a nutshell. Of course, it is helpful to read through the paragraphs and the sections of these specific characteristics. It's really great. Or you can listen to it. It's being read to you on the channel too. But here it is like it is good to stand still with these characteristics. Now it's like, okay, at least I know now the foundation behind this is basically recognizing that, that the source is what I am. It is not out there. The world cannot do anything to me unless it is my choice that the world does. And the other part is, in my healing, in my openness to healing, to spirit, I allow everything to be healed. So this can be a prayer of you that you literally ask for. Show me what I don't want to give away. And this is really what will come back to you. Like, you will get an answer of where you are holding on to. And can let go of that then, or can include that into, like, in fact, it comes down to this, is like, are you allowing every part of your mind to be handed over to spirit for its so-called correction, for letting it be restored back to sanity? Are you allowing every corner of your mind, or do you have a specific section that is a little bit more difficult? That's perfectly all right. There's nothing wrong with that. It is just like, well, now the time has come to take another look at that. And why not allow yourself to advance in this process by letting that go too? You saw that the things that you already let go of, you didn't really miss at all. You could do without. And in fact, it increased your joy and your energy. Now here is this specific spot in your mind, this specific place of maybe secretive place inside yourself that you don't want to give up to spirit. Have not been able to do that. But here's the invitation to take another look at it and allow that to be included in it too. Seeing it as for instance, as an adventure instead of something being taken away from you. It's like you don't need it. In order to come to a full realization of yourself in connection to who you truly are, that is an essential part. That this is an incredible possibility for you to come to a total revelation of the true you that you are.